Yes, you guys, welcome back. I'm the EFC, this is Blue Line TV, and today I'm here to bring you guys another News Daily video. Now, in today's video, I'm going to focus on two stories today. I'm going to speak about the breaking news that came out earlier this morning that Ross Barkley has officially left to sign for Aston Villa on loan. So, here are my thoughts and opinions, hear what his loan sale means. I hope you guys do enjoy. Before I get into things though, let me get the plugs out of the way first. If you like today's video, then help me get over 3,000 likes for today's video. And for the second plug, download the OneFootball app. It's free, it's convenient, and it is a great companion app to have. I've been using it religiously for years, even before I was fortunate enough to work with the company. And to be honest, you guys, the convenience, the handiness, like I use it every single day. When I'm collecting the stats and data, I use the app to do that, and it's just a brief example of the many uses the app has. If you want to try out for yourselves for the start of this new season, I really recommend you do that. You'll find a link below, you guys, in the description below. Starting with the breaking news that came out earlier today, and that's that Ross Barkley has officially left to sign for Aston Villa. Now, this was a bit of a surprise, and from some of the details that I've heard about his move to Aston Villa, well, basically, we know that Barkley was on the bench in the game last night versus Spurs. Literally, right after that game, he drove right up to Birmingham to obviously go to Aston Villa. He completed his medical, and literally in under 12 hours, this loan signing was wrapped up and finalized. Barkley does sign on a season-long loan. There is no option to buy at the end of this loan deal, but the reality is, a club like Aston Villa, they have money to spend. If Ross Barkley performs well, if Barkley decides that he wants to remain at Aston Villa, well, personally, I believe that they're a club that could easily spend 25-30 million to make his loan signing a permanent. Now, one of the main reasons why Barkley did leave was to boost his hopes of representing England in next summer's Euros. For players that play at this level, it's a big personal ambition to represent your country in a big international tournament. So, naturally, Ross Barkley understood that this season it was going to be very difficult to secure those minutes with the new signings here, as well as Lampard preferring players like your Mason Mounts, Kantes, etc., etc. So, in this instance, I think for all parties, this loan move does make sense. Now, the next question that I want to delve into is this loan move the right one for Ross? To keep things real, originally I felt at the start that, maybe Barkley could play for a team higher up in the table, but when you break down the business that Aston Villa have done in this summer, when you consider that last season, their form was greatly affected by midfield injuries, especially to McGinn in midfield, I do feel like now Barkley is signing for a club that do have some decent talents, decent players, and, I'm talking about players like your Jack Grealish's. Now, Barkley playing as the number 8 in that Aston Villa midfield has the opportunity and possibility to link up alongside down that left-hand side with Grealish. I think that's great. Down the opposite flank, there's Bertrand Traore that was just signed. They made a big money move to sign Watkins from Brentford. Personally, a bit too much money, but Watkins is a very good advanced style forwards. And on top of that, they have players like Tyrone Mings, McGinn. So in that sense, I do feel like Barkley is signing for a pretty decent Aston Villa team. I guess the next question now is that was this wise to loan out Ross Barkley? Now, some of you guys might be thinking, okay, Nini, we've loaned out Ross Barkley. I guess this means that Ruben is definitely staying. Not necessarily. Ruben is still on the loan list. I'm hearing that there's potential interest from Fulham, and I'm just praying. I'm praying that Ruben does not go on loan to a club that are most likely going to get relegated this season, who don't really play great attacking football either. I think it would be an absolute waste, and to be honest, this could spell the end for his career. I know it sounds pretty hyperbolic, I do understand that, but I'm hearing too personally that Ruben still feels quite frustrated in the manner in which he picked up this injury that has really just halted the progression in his career. Like, this injury, that friendly, that moment, that timing was really needed. And in the end, it's really halted the momentum and the progression of one of our most promising players from our academy in God knows how long. So, from a personal human perspective, I can feel and understand that frustration and that anger. Of course, it was out of your hands. And now it's going to be hard for you to get back to those levels that you were originally showing. I still have faith in Ruben, but I'm praying that he gets a good loan move to a club that plays the right side of football, that is going to play him as an attacking 8 in midfield and won't just use him out wide, basically wasting his time and wasting our time. Moving on to Ross Barkley, I have said in my reviews and in player rating videos too, when he does well, I am not afraid to say it. You know, when it comes to giving my thoughts and opinions, you guys, I like to keep things brutally real. I care about accuracy. If that means that maybe a player that I don't rate ends up having like a 10 out of 10 game, I'll be the first one to praise him, because all I care about is seeing quality and seeing success in the team. For me personally though, if you were to break down Ross Barkley's overall stay, I guess maybe this move away from the club was a long time coming. The reality is he signed for us at a pretty good age, around 23, 24. Yes, it was hard from at the start. You know, he didn't play football for an entire year basically at Everton. He then moves to a club like us, the level's higher, the standards are higher, and to be honest, Barkley never had that momentum of games to get back to full speed. So his early career here was quite hard, and that's something that I feel is accurate. We have to, you know, when we speak about things like this, we have to speak about them in the right context. You know, I'm not here to have biased takes, you guys, but you know, to delve into my points even more, when you consider that Barkley's worked under your Sarris, your Contes and your Frank Lampards, and he still has not been able to secure a first team spot in midfield, then I guess you guys, you know, it's safe to say that your times and your days are going to be numbered. Reality is last season, he only scored 1 goal in the Premier League. Yes, his assist record was decent compared to the amount of minutes that he got for us, but he barely scored goals, his involvement wasn't as amazing, and to be honest, his involvement was like 1 goal in every 8 games. That's not enough to build success from. We need to see that consistent class and quality, and to be honest, I felt with Ross everything was quite inconsistent. Against weaker opposition with more space to play in, that's when you could really see what he's about, but at the same time, those games came, you know, very rarely, and to be honest, you have to show a lot more in your overall game to actually be a #1 leading midfield player at this club. You know, when Ross was first signed, there were hopes and talks and, you know, things being sold to him, dreams being sold from guys like Emanalo, suggesting that Barkley would be the new Frank Lampard in this team. Unfortunately, due to all the minutes he's received, he hasn't been able to live up to that progress, and to be honest, I think with the recent additions we have in midfield now, with Kai, Mason, Ziyech, we have Gilmour, Andrin, Ruben, other players that can fill that position too, and other attacking options that could even mean that we play different formations. I do feel like Barkley isn't needed anymore. Barkley is a decent player, and in the right conditions where he has space to play, and yes, you can see the old glimpses of his ability to, you know, hit a ball very nice into the back of the net, because Barkley has a left foot and a right foot, which is actually quite rare to have in midfield players. And to be honest, you know, when I see the early Ross Barkley, because I really was a massive fan of the early Ross back in his Everton days, I mean, he used to excite me. This was a guy that had the confidence to make things happen. He looked to take responsibility. He had a left foot, a right foot, great acceleration. He was willing to get past his man as well. And you felt like even when he was getting criticism back in those days, you felt like under the right circumstances as a manager, he could pull through and become a serious player. But, you know, it seems like the injuries didn't really help, and then he signed for us maybe at the wrong time, where ideally he needed a run of games first to actually get back to that full confidence. Because for me, since then, I felt like we haven't really seen what Barkley is really about. We've seen glimpses, we've seen the odd bits of quality against weaker teams with a lot of space to play in. But for me, to be a club that goes to the next level, players like your Rosses do have to be phased out, because now the quality of backup player that we have is much greater compared to your Barkleys and your other players from back in those days. So, you know, this is part and parcel of restructuring, rebuilding, and becoming a better and stronger competitive squad. Good luck to Ross Barkley. I hope he has a good season, and let's hope that he can actually get himself a place in the national team squad. And there you guys, that was the first story out of the way. You guys in the comment section below, give me your thoughts and opinions, and give some real honest ones. Like, how did you find Barkley to stay here? Did you feel like maybe he had more potential to grow? I understand the argument that he could be a decent backup option off the bench, but for me personally, I feel like when we really see these players back, like your Ziyech's, your Pulisic's, and your Gilmour's, etc, etc, I think you'd realise then that Barkley's game time was going to be dramatically reduced. And that's one of the main reasons why he was available for loan in this window. As I've said, he's worked under 3 different managers, he hasn't secured that first team spot, and I think the main reason for that is that he doesn't have that consistent quality that you can consistently rely on. But they are my thoughts and opinions. I want to read yours, and you guys, on that note, I'm gonna wrap things up and keep things moving. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'm the EFC, this is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.